Boys and girls, it's time to pop the virtual reality headset onto our face and jump into Project Cars. Now, this is the first video that we're making with the consumer Oculus Rift. After all that wait, here it is. I'm recording the audio from the microphone on the headset, so that should be interesting. I've set the gain volume to half of the headset, so we should get a good gauge of what the microphone quality is actually like on the Oculus Rift, which will be interesting to see because I don't know what it sounds like. We've got the simulator set up. I loaded this up before and got the T300, Thrustmaster T300, SH8 shifter, Clutchport V2 pedals, all working in the game. Of course, that's all attached to Simatech cockpit, so it should be nice and authentic. We're in a relatively reasonable driving position here. We've got the graphics set pretty high, and I thought it'd be interesting to try out asynchronous time warp, in that we can have the game running slower than the 90 Hz, but asynchronous time warp will fill in the gaps and hopefully stop us from throwing up all over our sim rig. So off we go to the Brands Hatch in the Formula C. It should be interesting. Okay. Lights off. And it's go, go, go. We'll just put our foot straight down there. Back end squirreling a little bit. Fantastic sense of depth as always with the headsets. Whoa, sliding down here. Tyres cold. Tyres cold in a vehicle trying to drive into us. Oh! We've just been mullered by a car on the right. We're still going though. Okay. AI pretty brutal in Project Cars. No damage, that's we're okay. So, in terms of visual clarity, it seems that, you know, this is... What? That was close. This is very close in terms of the image quality to the HTC Vive, actually, which is nice. Both headsets seem to pretty much offer a similar kind of visual feel to them. Look at him going on the grass. But of course, Project Cars has absolutely fantastic detail in this, the cockpits and the environments. We've only tried the Vive with Live for Speed at the moment, which is a fantastic sim, but visually not as much of a feast for the eyes as Project Cars. As he kicks up some dust in front of us. Really nice, as always, with the VR headset to be able to see inside the cockpit. And you can actually see in Project Cars that the driver's feet, with his little racing trainers, you can see them moving a little bit. As I move my real foot, you see his little foot in the car. This car's a sequential with a clutch. I'm using the shifters on the steering wheel. We've upgraded our car secretly. Broken the rules. But you can see his left foot moving across from the clutch to the brake, so we can left foot brake but also activate the clutch for the sequential. Oh. Okay, the force feedback's a little bit back to front for the curbing, but that's something we can tweak. Now, I've turned all the assists off, of course, and we've got the AI on 100%. I'm driving like a buffoon, but it's a lot to take in. Interestingly, I think the Oculus Rift, what is nice is that the headphones rest nicely on the side of your face. You can move them on and off your head easily, and the sound's pretty good on them. I mean, they're not as good as my Sennheiser 595s, but you know, it's perfectly usable sound. And a little bit more comfortable than using the HTC Vive earbuds. Until you get used to the HTC Vive earbuds, but you can, you pop this on your head, and they're already in the right place, and it's all done. I think visually, side by side with the Vive, because I have been going between the Vive and the Rift. The Rift seems to have a lot less brightness to it, a lot less contrast to it, and then marginally sharper display, but I mean it's so negligible. Really, both headsets visually are pretty close. I think the Vive actually pips the Rift in terms of field of view quite a bit. You get a lot more vertical field of view with the Vive, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to have to go side by side probably do it in Live for Speed and some other games that are on both platforms. And literally just take one headset off and put the other one on, go between them multiple times to sort of get a good picture of that. So it's hard to do a comparison. As we've got a driver right next to us, we're forcing him on the grass. Mow the lawn, boy. You get £3 pocket money for that. Absolutely incredible driving in VR. It's so much better than driving on the screen. I mean, fair enough that the resolution. We're going backwards here. The AI's beating us. What's going on? Terrible driving by myself. The resolution could still be better, and I think if you're the type of person that's really anal about raw clarity of the image in the resolution, then you know, a very expensive large triple screen setup will still probably do you. But if you're all about the immersion, feeling like you're in the car, looking around, actually feeling like you're in a car, VR is just, even with its shortcomings, absolutely fantastic on both the Rift and the Vive. I'm genuinely surprised how well asynchronous time warp seems to be working. And for those of you that don't know, what that really does is, even if your game runs slower than the sort of 90 Hertz, it sort of puts in distortion to the image and keeps things looking to the end user as if things are running smooth. So even when the game stutters, it's smooth. I think in the recording it's probably going to be stuttering because the record is not picking up the asynchronous time warp view. It's a different view of the game that it's picking up. So sorry if the frame rate's a bit bad on that. But with a game like Project Cars, which isn't the lightest of games, it's interesting to see how well this works. It'll be interesting to compare that with the Vive, actually. With they have a thing called reprojection. It'll be interesting to see how they both operate on the same game that puts a lot of load, and if it makes it more playable with the Rift than the Vive. Oh, he's gone into the sand. But the detail is incredible. You can see all the track texture details. You can see quite fine to the distance. Again, very similar to the Vive. You sort of get a good sort of 150 or so meters of high clarity, and then it sort of just goes out of focus and blurry, as if you've got sort of I guess if you're a bit short-sighted. Maybe someone that is actually short-sighted in real life using the Rift, they won't notice any difference. But this is perfectly crisp. Now, I have had to turn with Project Cars. I've had to turn the shadows off because they don't seem to render properly in both eyes, and reflections are also seem a little bit off. So I've turned them down, but everything else is pretty much on full. And it really is quite a visual feast. I'd be really interested to see what this is like. Okay, we're getting sucked off the track here. I'd be really interested to see what this is like in the dark and with some of the different vehicles. So we'll jump into them after this video. But I mean, it just feels homely now. Having used the DK2 for a long time, and then I sold the DK2 to try and recoup some money to then be able to buy both the Vive and the Rift. It just felt wrong playing on screens after getting used to VR. And now jumping back into the Rift and the Vive, it's like, oh, I'm back home. It just feels right as the AI takes control of the vehicle and we start driving around to look at the scoreboard. We did terrible there, but I'm genuinely impressed how well asynchronous time warp is working to allow this to run smoothly. And I've got no motion sickness sense at all. Feel totally comfortable, which is really good as well. Found especially in Project Cars, actually, with the DK2, it used to make me really motion sick because they were sort of delaying the head tracking and other components that just made you feel a bit queasy. But now it's completely flawless and totally playable. Also, Project Cars, the menus and everything all work perfectly fine. Sometimes you have to go back to Windows, take headset off, and use the mouse on the screen, unless you've got the Xbox controller in your hand. You can't access some of the menus using the keyboard or the D-pad on your steering wheel at the moment, but it's all pretty workable. A lot better than it was with the DK2 days. So that's an initial first impression of Project Cars. I'm going to go and do another video. I'm really excited to try more content out. This is fantastic. And actually, I need to check the audio quality as well, because I haven't done that. The audio might be absolutely garbage, in which case this video won't be uploaded. So we'll hope it's good. But off to the pits we go. Thanks for watching this video, and if you did enjoy it and you want to see more, don't forget to click the subscribe button and like and all that business. There's only 3 people that watch sim racing videos, so we need as many subscribers as possible to help things feel worthwhile outside of my own excitement. There's a helicopter spiralling out of control. So I'll see you in the next video we do. Goodbye.